My name is Carla Brainerd, and today I will be discussing with you a case study that was done by Renee Campoy, a teacher, and it's regarding a student that had behavior issues. The student's name is Billy Stark, and Billy was expelled from the school that he was previously attending and enrolled in Southview Middle School, where Mr. Southstick was the principal. Mr. Southstick was the type of principal that tried to give his teachers a lot of support and his faculty a lot of support, so he often scheduled meetings for those type things. And this student, when Mr. Southstick heard that this student would be coming and the behavior issues that he had, he scheduled a faculty meeting, and they all got together and came up with a plan that would be the best for Billy. Billy was a student that had anger issues. He was in lots of trouble. He had been in trouble at the school before. He attended this school for smoking and taking drugs and often appeared high, although it was wondered by some of the teachers if he was actually high or if he was just pretending to be. When Billy arrived at Southview Middle School, he was dressed in fatigue with t-shirt, always had on jeans with heavy boots, and the dark dyed black hair is always spiked or gelled back. Mr. Southstick, after discussing with his teachers, 7th grade teachers, Billy's 7th grade student, decided that Mr. Banta would be the best teacher for Billy because Mr. Banta seemed to have the most patience and all with the students. So Billy was placed in Mr. Banta's room. The first day of school, Billy was in trouble, as he was at the school prior to. He was caught in the bathroom by the janitors smoking. He hit one student in the head with a book on the very first day of school. So Mr. Banta approached Billy's behavior with just talking to him and trying to get through to him by talking. After that, the very next day, Billy's dad was scheduled to meet with the principal and Mr. Banta and all, and Mr. Banta was really excited about that. And when Mr. Starks arrived the next morning, they found out that Billy's mother had actually abandoned him. And in the beginning of Billy's life, Billy's mother had done a lot of his raising. And Mr. Starks was having a hard time. He was trying to work several hours and raise Billy, so they figured that that's where some of Billy's anger issues was coming from. Along with the anger issues, Billy also he was behind in school, so he attended special education classes, and they also, Southview Middle School was going to give him tutoring if he needed that also. They were prepared to help Billy in any way that they could. Billy had class in Mr. Banta's room for part of the day so that he could engage with the other students and make friends, and hopefully that would be the social side. The counselor was also involved, and she counseled with Billy. And Billy also went to the special education class where the teacher there found out quickly that Billy was way behind in everything. Reading, he was on the 2nd, 3rd grade level. Math, he was just basic math only. And soon, with all this going on, the behavior issues in Mr. Banta's class and all, the other children started to go home and complain to their parents that they weren't getting the attention that they needed. So Mr. Banta got a call regarding Billy and Billy's behavior and the way that it was taken away from the other students. This took a toll on Mr. Banta's health, and Mr. Banta started to back off with Billy. The special education teacher stepped up and tried to take over and do more with Billy. She soon realized that she was not going to get anywhere with Billy either, and she began to wonder if Billy had some type of neurological problem or behavior problem that had not been diagnosed, and that was causing these problems. She tried several approaches with Billy. She tried to find things that he was interested in. He was interested in heavy metal, rock, and video games, which she thought would probably just add to Billy's behavior problems, but she did find things for Billy to read, and for a short period of time Billy would be interested in these things, and then he would lose interest quickly and his behavior would return, this bad behavior, disappropriate behavior. So, the school had exhausted all of their plans and resources, and they were just beginning to not know what to do with Billy, when one day they get a call from Mr. Starks, and he tells them that he has now moved with Billy out of state, and he's moving closer to his family since Billy's mother had left, and that way his family could help him with the raising of Billy since he worked so many hours. The school often wondered about Billy. The staff often wondered if they handled Billy's behavior issues the way that they should have. And later they learned that Billy had been admitted to a juvenile detention facility. And this is the extent of the case study that I read about. Thank you.